Coding is a mess these days, Chris Hawks. Hi, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer, tech support. Yeah, you already know about that. And I'm going to be reacting to this video by Chris Hawks. I've been following Chris Hawks for years. When he was, I started watching him when he was like 8K subs, and I was just seeing his whole journey go up and down and all around. And he's in his like a little bit of his black pill phase, but I get it. I dig it. I've been in the business for a long time, up and down, in and out. And yeah, I get it. Let me get my chair set up here. Okay, let's keep going.
Hey everybody, what up? All right, so I feel like over the last several months, I've been in somewhat of like a stagnant AI state. It's hard to explain, but like basically, I spent a little bit of time in the month of August, and I actually did like this VS Code clone. I was like, what would it take to actually do what like Cursor's doing or Claude Code? And
All
the
right.
main reason why I do these things, and I've done this throughout my entire career, is if I want to actually stay up to date and understand what's going on around me, I have to build projects and try to use the technology. It's the
Yeah.
best way that I know how to learn.
Well, first, I
And
mean,
I'm
yeah.
always like trying to tinker with something new because otherwise I'll just burn myself out like I've done throughout my career. Like web development gets old, dude. Like if you're doing React and JavaScript, HTML servers, even if it's AWS or Azure, I mean, this stuff gets old after a while.
I mean, it's work. That's why you get paid a lot of money for it, because it's not only is it grueling and boring and tedious and I mean and redundant and confusing and annoying. Mostly it's annoying. Yeah, and technical, and you have to get it right, and there's 1,000 ways to screw it up and one way to get it right. Yeah. Yeah, whoever's it's kind of made me a little bit fun in the beginning when you like start to understand how things all put together, but that's not the purpose of learning that stuff. I know it's kind of fun to learn, like, hey, isn't that cool and neat? But then there's like, okay, I need to move this thing to get this job done for this other person who's gonna be paying me, and he doesn't have unlimited budgets and unlimited time. So, can we get it across the finish line? Yeah, that's not that fun, but welcome to the world of work. Who said it was supposed to be fun all the time? Like I get this sometimes get this messaging from Computable in the business. I guess I got started really early, and the fun thing was like, yeah, okay, cool, but whatever I want. It's like people think, oh, I like hammering something. I like using a hammer, bam, like a bash hammers. It's like, yeah, but that's not really what hammers are for. Hammers aren't just for bashing the shit out of something, even though that's pretty fun. I'll admit, I like that. I like doing that. It's one of the first things I did with the hammer. Didn't you? I mean, come on. You want to bash the shit out of everything. Here's some board. Like, if you're lucky, like my dad's, like, here's some board and some nails. Go hammer the shit out of it. Go after you. Bash your fingers. You realize, oh man, I better be careful with that. I'm like, smash my finger up. Okay, but that's not what hammers are for. They are for that. That's one thing you can do with them, but that's not what this for. The hammers are for building stuff that's useful. I mean, it could be artistic, but most of the time you're trying to get something else done. You're trying to build a chair, a table, a wall, a house, a shed. You're trying to build something with this damn thing, or trying to knock something out. Trying to break something apart or put it back together. We're using this metal tool because it's not your hand is too soft. All right.
While. So I got to keep it fresh. And for that reason, like I went ahead and I spent some time like creating this clone. And what I discovered over a period of time was that the way like Cursor works and all this is like it's just a tremendous rag layer on top of a hallucinating LLM.
Yeah,
That
I
is what
mean, yeah.
agentic AI is, and that's
What that's by now it's been what 3 years with this technology, 3.5 years now. Yeah, that's what it is.
actually the future of what we're going into.
No.
So I heard the Fed chair giving a talk today, and basically people are asking him about like what is the state of the job market and all this, and like the fact of the matter is like it's a mess, right? But we don't really know why it's a mess. Is it a mess because of corporate greed? Is it a mess because of tariffs and uncertain economic?
I mean, we shipped all the stuff overseas. That without a manufacturing base, it's hard to keep an engine. Now we're a service economy, and we were supposed to build all the technology, but to have that level of building things that are interesting and useful, like the technology curve, you have to have an undercurrent of like the manufacturing people there to like run that system along as itself. You can't just ship it overseas. You can do it for a little while, but then the skill set of all the tinkerers who are in the factories or building this stuff, it atrophies and actually goes away, vaporizes. And we thought, oh no, we can just do it with software. We can just do it with software. It's like, well, there's a part of it, but you notice that everything in the like electronic space has gone ahead, but the real physical world is like stayed stagnant, especially in the United States. Like other countries have had bullet trains for a long, long time, like 50 years, and America doesn't have one yet. All right, something else. Something is definitely up. Okay,
Policy, basically decisions made by the current administration in charge. Is it
it's not the current one. This is a long term what they call structural trends that people think they can just offload something somewhere else, and the ecosystem that supported that thing isn't going to change and maybe go away. They don't know. They're like, oh, we don't really think it. We're just thinking next quarter. We just go, hey, I got my bonus, right? I got an MBA. I put it in the spreadsheet. We're gonna save 12 cents by shipping it off to China, yeah, or ship it off someplace else to be made. We're gonna save 12 cents. We're not gonna, but we're gonna charge people the same. We're gonna act like it was made in America by charging the same amount with that if it was actually made in America, but we're not passing that along. We're just going to go ahead and take that as profits. And we wonder why people are going to the financial sector and they're not trying to do anything manufacturing or build stuff. Because if you're smart and you want to efficiently use the time you have left on this planet, which most people do, and don't really into playing around with the computer game, they'll go to the financial sector. And that's where you can make 15-20% on your money, almost guaranteed, easy. Kick back on the beach, just type some numbers on a computer, talk to your friends, and your pals are all on board, right? Versus risking hours of days of mucking around in something that you don't even know if people are going to use it or like it. Oh, that's very risky. You might win big, but that's a big gamble. There's not much risk. You might as well go in the financial sector where it's real easy picking. So that's what happened.
it completely just offshoring? Is it AI? Like what is it? Is it
Yes,
overhiring from COVID? We've heard all these different excuses,
that's
and
that's
really
the
like nobody
current
really knows what
trend.
the future is going to hold in regards to like, are we all going to lose our jobs? That's what everybody's
Eventually, in the long run, yeah, all these jobs go away. I mean, that is the march of technology in general. But how are we going to support an economy when nobody's actually working? Well, that's a big question. And yeah, if you look at what they tried to do, like immediately after the AI came online, they just got use it as an excuse and just got rid of everybody. Well, they're now they're pulling people back. We're seeing stories about that. We're seeing news in this noise where people say, okay, well maybe we overfired, right? We overhired for COVID, but maybe we overfired for the AI thing. But you can see the moment they do have it, you're gone. So we can see the writings on the wall. So the people left on this that actually want to do this line of work might have to be doing it for a lot less money, and because they like it. When I first got involved, there wasn't a lot of money in this stuff. You were kind of crazy. It was like you're just kind of nerds, and that was actually quite fun. So that we might be going back to that. The people who are left who will do it for the local wages might be doing it for because it is interesting work, and they don't mind putting up with this pace of changes. It's kind of interesting, like better than digging ditches or working in a kennel and shoving poop for a dog shit. If you've got one or the other, come on.
worried about. And the Fed chair was like, we make policies for economic conditions, whether it's like inflation or the job market and things like that. But he's like, overall, like breaking architectural changes within like our society is not something that they are responsible for. That's where it would take, executive policy basically to try to figure out
No,
what we
the
do to
government
come
can't
in. And
fix
so
this
you've
stuff.
actually heard lately that
The government didn't cause this stuff, so the government can't fix this stuff. These are all structural changes that were happening over time by groups of people in groupthink, thinking they could do everything, and then the society would be the same. But they're not even people in the business world don't even think that far ahead. They're going quarter by quarter. They just want their bonus. They know how the cycles work. When the getting's good, you get it, and when it's gone, hopefully there'll be something else. And this is how Western society and the whole business world has been operating for quite some time. And then something else hasn't showed up yet. They call the economic driver. We thought the AI was going to do it. And they thought they could just eliminate everybody's jobs and still have a functioning economy. Okay, and now that's not going to happen. So that's why there's all this talk about the UBI and all this stuff. But we haven't seen this next economic driver. We thought this AGI thing with robots was going to be the thing, but I don't know. People thought that went through that much for like people, because there's like when we hear this talking heads, I believe there's actually two classes of people they're talking about: the hoi polloi, which they don't really talk about at all, or the people in the finance and who are going to be funding these operations. And they're like, how great this profitable it would be, blah 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 blah. But like a lot of this stuff, like there's this internet like, oh, we're going to bring factories back. Yeah, but they're going to be dark factories. There's going to be 12 people in there max, and you the things to be 1,000-person factory if everyone's running the machine themselves manually. No, that's over. So we're waiting for the next economic driver, and if it doesn't come, we're gonna have to have a UBI or Like what's like Eric Schmidt said, the ex CEO of Google said, the people on the bottom of the K recovery, they're gonna have to fend for themselves. We may see these a lot of these services go away and people just make like a major culling event. This is not unheard of in history of mankind. This actually happens quite a bit, especially when the populations get too big for the elite that they feel like they want to manage. Sorry, I didn't make the rules. I'm not happy about this situation. Nobody really. You think I'm happy about it? No, this is terrible. This is like horrific.
That like some of the CEOs are now saying, like Nvidia CEO and Bill Gates talking about that we're about to have 3 and 4 day work week, which would be nice. But here's the thing I've discovered though is that I've actually
They've been talking about that forever. And is how are you gonna do that? Oh, the government just do 4 days a week, or you're just gonna mandate that every company and every business in America does that? Yeah, right. That's not gonna happen. Come on.
personally taking a step back from AI because what I've found is that this AI, whether it's Claude Opus, which is the best thing out there probably that I've seen,
It's
or
all
it's
it's all this LLM shit, doesn't it's all it's gonna what we've seen is the maximum. If you're thinking there's gonna be some new breakthrough or some new model, no. We're at the top of the S curve. We started plateauing about 6 to 8 months ago, maybe a year ago. And now we're just plateauing off. And if there was a big announcement with these tools, come on, think it through. If it was really what they said it was, they would be using these tools to improve itself, and it's not happening. Because if they allowed us to have access, like to think about it, if we had access to a real thing that actually did that, all businesses would be Amazon within a week. Think about it. They would all the lawyers, all the accountants, all the people pushing the clerks through, all greasing the wheels and all that stuff everywhere it needs to be done. The AI would tell you who needs to be paid off, where, when, and all the companies would be Amazon. Think through. They're not going to have it, but they're going to hype the stock price. They thought they might have had it by now, and they're just like, no. No, the fact that they can't use these tools to improve themselves is just proof it's we've seen the max. It's good. It's better than looking up documentation. For me, I use these tools. It's better than looking up documentation. Better than you want to have a rough sketch of something, but you still have to go through and curate whether it's the right, whether it's fit for purpose. And that's me for am I building a doorbell or am I building a website? Or am I building a camera or building an AI tracking robot thing? Just completely different purposes. Like one might need a whole UI thing, one might just a data stream. So it's up to me, right? As the programmer designer, I have to decide which is what's it fit for purpose or not. Like the AI is not going to be able to tell you. It can get you close, try to get you close, but then not really. I mean, at the end, little chunks. Instead of looking in the manual, looking up for the latest thing and the updates and the changes and all, it'll help you navigate that stuff instead of you going looking it up. But eventually, sometimes you're gonna have to go look it up, and so it's still like that. But it's like, really, after 3 years, you think they would get all this stuff figured out, but nope, nope. You're still gonna have hallucinations. You're still gonna have weird stuff that don't work. It's where they think is you're doing. It's trying. Thought you're going to go zig, and you actually zagged.
whatever you might be using, ChatGPT 5, they are hallucinating all the time. And they also write shitty code.
Yeah,
So it writes an impossible amount of code that literally, like, I don't think one person can really go through. So you're spending more
correct.
time reviewing all the slop code.
Yes, curation. Yeah, yeah, then you have to go check it because it's not there yet. It's not. This isn't the thing that they've technology on is a great demonstration, really nice demo, but it's not there. And but because they have to keep their stock price pumping because if they don't, they'll go out of business, and that just can't happen. They have to lie. I know, business people lying. What
Code that is writing
for
versus really
money?
writing it
What?
yourself. And at the same time, your skills are somewhat atrophying. Um, so I find
Uh
though that I'm getting better, I think, at
yeah.
code reviews because it's forcing me to, but it's also relatively exhausting. Like I said, I think I equate it to like a drunk junior programmer that's like sometimes doing well, but other times
Right.
it's like, yeah, they're just drunk and doing
Right.
crazy things, shooting their guns in the air.
Right.
So when I had to, basically I was like, you know what, this little side project I was like showing you that I was working on, I'm like, that's how this works. I understand how agentic AI works. I do think agentic AI is going to disrupt quite a bit of jobs out there. As I
Well, now with this current iteration of stuff, we would be seeing it already. All this agentic, we've been hearing about agentic stuff for what, a year and a half now, and it's still screws up horribly, badly, to the point where they have to hire people back. So it's yes, it's not ready yet. I don't think it's gonna be ready for a while. But the moment it is, oh, you better believe that all the sci-fi crap they've been talking about will happen. But it's a ways away. But you've been warned, right? It's like, do you like this kind of work or close around it because you're gonna be messing with these AIs and fixing their code bases and struggling with them. "Arr, why isn't it agentic yet?" It's like because it's never. You're not gonna get the agentic stuff not anytime soon. And it won't be for consumers. If these businesses actually get what they want, you're not gonna have access to it. Come on now. Come on.
I've said years ago, I think one of the last jobs to actually go in this field are going to be the true programmers, the people that do know programming syntax,
Yeah.
logical constructs, data.
Yes. So the AI is like a shortcut for documentation for me. Instead of going looking all this crazy shit up and all this stuff, I still gotta read it. I can still look at it, I still have to understand it. I still know every single thing it does. I can't skip any of it. So anyone that thinks they can just skip over it, you're going to reverse. And it's because the stuff is still super complicated, still hard to difficult to understand. It's getting better. KMP's major step ahead. They've thought to 3 steps ahead because they've been working on the the stairwell for a while. They can see where the people are headed. So yeah, but you still gotta. It's not like the AI is not like these platforms have been rewritten for the AI. Come on, it's on top of that crufty strand random human made crap that we're all dealing with. Mm-hmm.
Data structures. Those are going to be the people that, and especially the people that have what we consider are going to be considered in the future a lower level knowledge of what
Yeah.
we're dealing with day to day. So when I
Yeah, I have. If you all you need, I think all you need to know is the low level knowledge you're talking about is the stuff I cover in my course, how to program from the ground up. It's free. It's on my GitHub. It's got over 130 stars, 150 stars, whatever. It's got a lot of stars because I took the time to like go back and not do the standard goddamn CS course. Here's a for loop. It's like I don't do it that way. I go this other path, and I build it up from ancient cuneiform to relays to the transistors all the way up to the object-oriented class programming, and why all those things are separate, why they're useful or not useful, and why they're appropriate and not appropriate. Yeah,
when I say something like that, I'm talking about like
free
assembly to C and then C
cheapskates.
to object oriented programming with like C++ and C sharp, right? Some of us C sharp developers and object oriented developers look at like C people and they seem like wizards, but in
I mean,
certain ways,
really, wizards. See, I guess he maybe not. He maybe not. Look, if you go to Ben Eater, which I talk about in the course, my how to program for the grown up. I tell you, if you just go watch the Ben, if you watch all the Ben Eater courses and you like maybe just play with some of the circuits and understand what's going on. Oh yeah, it becomes like, oh, it's not this magic, dude. There's no magic. No magic. It's very clever little tricks. That there's just one way of doing something, and there's a bunch of different ways that haven't been discovered yet and haven't been tried yet because this other one way that we found works so damn well.
is like Unix was created in what, like 15 days or something like that. So we consider those people geniuses, but shit was
No,
way
I think he's talking about JavaScript, but let's keep going.
way easier to deal with back in the day. You just couldn't do as much. So now we have
No, it was. I was back in the day. It was just as hard to deal with. It was just as crafty and weird and fucked up and strange and odd. And why is it this way? And oh, this is an inside joke. It's so funny. It's like this is confusing. This is actually not funny, but it is kind of funny because every goddamn person goes through the same thing. It's like, oh, you had to pay the entrance fee. It's like all bunch of that crap. Things not for one purpose, used for this other purpose. All kinds of hidden, like people like doing all kinds of gatekeeping all the ways. You can't touch with the computer. You haven't been here for 16 years yet, and you don't have the special key. It's like it was worse.
massive abstraction layers on top of abstraction layers, and then now we have a
Yeah,
slop.
but the one back then you had to create your own abstraction levers. You had to reinvent the wheel every time because you didn't couldn't look up somebody else's solution. You had to roll together as much as you could cobble together and figure out on your own because there's no big mill library that all this. I remember source code was closed. That's why when Unix when they released the source code for Unix, when AT&T released the source code to Unix to all universities, people lost their minds because they could never because they would look at the disassembly and like what the hell is this? And they had the commented code from C well, what all these things were doing and why. It's like, oh, that's why. And that's when the whole operating system thing exploded, the microcomputer thing exploded, because everybody's like, oh, that's how you're doing it.
top layer of AI that's over top of all of that stuff. And the people that are going to know how to figure that shit out are going to be worth quite a bit of money in the future. And that's
Mm,
actually where I think we're headed
we'll
as a
see.
society. So
I don't think it's the low level knowledge. I think it's the having enough knowledge of all these tools and how they're put together to efficiently put together real projects for real people. And not the exorbitant prices, right? They're like reasonable prices because it's like, one or two or three people who are like on a KMP project who are able to do all the platforms at once, and web and iOS and Android. It'll be more like that. It would be like this maximum this leveraging operation, and then trying to snipe clients, like snipe a client away that's has not doing something offshore when they have like a team of 60 people and it's taking they're bogged down because their team's trying to vibe code their way through. And you come in because you know what you're doing and you've gone through the fucking pit of fire, understanding everything how all this stuff works, and you're still going to use these tools, but you're going to be using them as leverage, not as the way the thing that they're leaning on to do all the work, but just as a leverager. Because look, I already know what I want, but I don't want to look it up every 5 seconds. I want to just give me close, and I'll edit it. Okay.
yes, the AI has gotten better, I think, and to some degree.
Because we're at the top of the
But
S
honestly,
curve.
I'm not 100% convinced that we're like in a better world because of these tools.
It's a better than Stack Overflow and getting abused for reading it, for asking questions. But like the whole thing of like having agents write all your code for you. No, that was a pipe dream anyway. That was to get people to stock pump. Okay. Now they blew their trick. They blew their pony on that one. So now we're getting the valley of despair, right? And they're going to be in there for a while. And this is where programmers who are going to be using these tools and don't think they're going to vibe code their way out, they're going to thrive in this, but they're not going to pay the exorbitant prices unless we have another pandemic or whatever. But like we're gonna go through a phase where it's going to be the valley of despair, where people are just going to use these tools. And then they may have a breakthrough 5-10 years from now, but with this current path with the LLM stuff, dead end. It does not cognition. This is a statistical model based on a massive data set. So, but it's not cognition. So the AGI thing, we got a nice little preview, but they're still far away from this. And again, if they actually get it, they're not going to let you have it. Are you kidding me? Why would they let you have it? These big corporations can have their data centers, get rid of all their employees. Why would they let you have it? They're just gonna use it and take it over with industries. Once you see industries starting to be taken over, subsumed, BlackRock takes over everything. That's when you know, okay, well, UBI is around the corner, and learn how to farm and tinker around with these things because they're fun. But we're gonna go through another phase of our society if that happens. But that's a long ways away, and if it happens, you will not have any control over it. So I go with the assumption that it's going to be a long time, and that in the meantime, I'm going to make money and make projects for people and that do useful things. And if it does happen and they fire everybody, well, good. I've got free robots cooking my food and sending me things. I got somebody paying my bills, whatever. I get to not play and don't play with my kids and don't have to worry about going to work. Oh, great! It's not gonna be super scary if it is what they think it is, what they say it is, and our government actually cares about us, which is arguable. They may just be like, oh well, we don't need them anymore. Call time. Okay, cut off the food. They'll be done in a few months. They're not gonna last very much longer. It'll be like that. It's like, and then you'll be 2 weeks out, and that'll be it. That's it, and you're gone, and don't have to worry about it anymore. So, either way, don't worry about it.
You have to babysit them or they're going to go off of the rails. And
Yes.
it's going to be dangerous to have a bunch of coders that don't know how to do anything but prompt an LLM.
Well, they're
And
not
I
going to
think
be. They're not going to be. That was never a thing. That was never going to be possible anyway. Keep going.
we're already there. So
Well,
as I said before, I'll probably
no, we're not.
the code sloppy. I don't want to put out a bunch of sloppy code on my public GitHub, but I will open source this little demonstration that I'm providing here. So
All
if
right.
anybody wants to take it and run with it, by all means, go ahead. What I discovered though is that Cursor and all these companies in this race to create the next AI IDE, I think is a big fat waste of money. I think Cursor's not going to be around for very long.
Well, so he's been deep in this. He's been deep in this, trying to make it work. He's like, nope, not yet. I trust Chris. He is trying to make it do what they say they're doing. It's like this isn't doing it. It's like, yeah, I know. And he's a real programmer like me. He's been down the pit. He can make it work without the thing. He's like, can we make it sense? Like, no, you're going up here. You need to come down here. Like just the little end pieces. We're putting all this stuff together, but you still have to architect and have the vision of how they think these things are going to, the limitations and the scope. But have the AI do the little syntax and the glue, but the overall design and how direction you have to know how that works. So that's why KMP is awesome because you can leverage that that skill for instead of having to have 15 languages, you have like one language and one platform, one UI toolkit, and you leverage it. Okay, let's keep going.
I personally canceled my account with them, and I
Ooh,
think that this race to become the best IDE AI tool or whatever is a sloppy ass short term game. So
thank you, Chris. Thank you.
we have to find a better way of doing things because obviously
We do. No, we don't. It'll just if something better comes along, oh well, some people adopt it. But if it sucks, just drop it like the rest of them. I mean, the whole history of computing and software development is just all wreckage. All like 99% of software is just thrown away. All the time, all the effort, all the energy. Oh,
one of the things I've talked about is the prices have gone through the roof. Nobody can afford to pay for this stuff. I don't know
yeah,
if you've
because they're
noticed now, but
trying to be profitable by the users. Instead of the thing doing the thing which they thought they were going to replace the programmers, now they're just trying to see. I thought they would be able to charge the enterprise people to get rid of the programmers, and they found that the enterprise people were like, nope, doesn't work that way. This isn't good enough yet. They're like, oh shit! Now we have to go get the people, the programmers. We need to go see if we can charge out the ass for those guys. See if they'll pay for it. And the programmers are like, okay, we'll see what you got, but it's not looking good, guys. Like, I'll pay 10, $15 a month for a little code assistant, but this whole agent, it's not doing what I want. You're not there yet. You're far away, and that's what the enterprise people told him. But people like me and Chris are down the road like, this doesn't really doesn't work the way they say. And I look at the demo, it's not doing. I'm trying to follow along with the demo, and it's not doing what the demo. It's like, yeah, but they got your $50 a month or whatever for the 3 months, right until they run out of steam and their funding goes dry because they realize this is not happening, and instead of pulling the plug, they just let it fade out. Yeah.
Cursor, even on like commercial accounts, are now
I
like
mean, all this stuff is gonna be all self-hosted anyway. Come on, guys.
they're starting to throttle people. They certainly throttled individual users. You have companies like Windsurf that were fighting with Anthropic and not allowed to use Claude inside of their product, and then eventually they worked that out and they try to do bring your own key. So everybody tries to do bring your own key as if that's going to be something unique and a game changer, and it's really not.
Well, game changer. Yeah.
So the bottom line is that whatever
Look, man. The bottom line is if this stuff ever anywhere like 5% of what they said it does, we would already see a whole. We wouldn't even be talking about getting back into software development. We wouldn't even talk about software development. There would be literally no. I mean, there are jobs right now. The jobs are terrible right now. The economy is terrible right now. But it'd be literally that people would be like, okay, it's done. Just close up your departments. It's over. Forget about it. Like the English departments and the lit departments are all together. Like, because the AI really has fucking taken this shit, smashed it down. But the programming stuff where it actually have to be results, they have to work. You have to be able to edit and change it, and modify it, and make the machine has to understand what you mean, and understand your industry, understand your genre, and like understand the whole thing. No, we're not even there. They're not even anywhere close.
tools that you're going to write around these LLMs to write code, you have to have a ton of checks and balances in place for when this thing hallucinates and goes off the rail, because it will, and it always does. And the larger, more complicated.
Yeah, it can't. That's because it's hallucinating in the whole thing anyway. It's not like the hallucination or a mistake. It's like when it gets it correct, it's also a hallucination.
Project, you have the sloppier shit that it writes, and you eventually just go down this rabbit hole of disaster.
Yeah.
And what I love to see is that you're now seeing all types of articles, whether it's on like Hacker News or Reddit, or just anywhere on blogs and stuff about how this thing is writing terrible, terrible code,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're now living in this reality.
Mm.
And I said it
Is
years
it?
ago, like
Are we? Do we
this is
don't have to? We can use it for what it's good for, and let the rest drop the rest, man. That's a yoga thing. It's like if it doesn't work for you, you don't have to use it. You don't have to do it. But if it works, use it. If it not, drop it. It's like all these languages, Python before Python existed. It's like, oh, basic, quick basic. It's like, why were those dropped? Some people still use them, but most people drop them for something because it's better. It makes more sense. It's more applied, more fit for purpose. It's easier. It's more simpler. It doesn't makes more sense. It's well more thought out. Like Campy. Lets me leverage all these different platforms natively. Not some little layer in between, some little translation. I'm running in Python, but it's really no, natively.
is going to be another tool for your tool belt of being a developer, and I
Yeah, it's
still think
another
that is going
tool.
to be the case. Like this is a tool that I want to continue using because I can get it to spin up a bunch of boilerplate when I need
Right.
it to. But
Right.
this thing actually doing my job is something that I don't think we're anywhere close to. And the more I
Correct.
rely on it to actually try to just run with some sort of requirement, the more I pay for it in the end.
Yeah.
And the bottom line, like I said, is that I just simply have decided to pull back a little bit from these tools that I'm using
Yeah.
and go back to the fundamentals a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I do use them, I'm very, very specific about what I need them to do.
There we go. That's what I came to as well because I tried some of this stuff. It's like this don't work the way it says. Why do people believe this? Why are there so many accounts online promoting this crap when it's obviously not even close to being ready? And their demos are they're lying over and over and over again. It's like, yeah, well, okay, well, the joke's on us. So that's we're in the age of the scam. Yeah, okay, we're the American scam. United States of scam. Yeah, the whole world is scamming. It's all based on hype because the economic driver that used to be that usually is there in these capitalist countries is not there right now. We don't got one. The economic driver shipping the jobs overseas is gone. That's all gone. The financialization stuff is coming to an end unless we have another boost, some economic thing. They thought this AI was going to do it, but it obviously ain't. So now what? Probably war. That's usually what they do when they have no other choice. Find the enemy on the outside and attack them. It's probably gonna be Russia, not China, because China's our partner. They make it seem like it's gonna be China. It's like no, China's our buddies. They don't want to take over the world. They're center world. They build a wall. That's part of their culture. They build the wall. We're in the center. You come to us. Yes, we'll manufacture your shit and send it off back to you. Yes, we're good at that. You're gonna come up with the big ideas and we're gonna make them. Okay, great. But then we've come to the end of that. We don't have any more ideas. There's no new technological development. There's no new push. There's no nuclear energy. There's no new thing. No new energy sources. Super cheap, clean, and doesn't upset the oil industry and the oil petrodollar. We're gonna fight about that.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out my game. I have a release.
Yeah, go check out his game. And I like ranting, and go check out his channel. Give him a like and subscribe. And I'm Chris, and I like to rant about stuff. And I'll talk to you later, guys. Like and subscribe.